Hello class, this is a video tutorial on calculating sides using trigonometry. This is a very similar video to my first part in this, but if ever you think this looks exactly the same, I invite you to go back and compare what it looks like from this version to the previous one. Let's take a look here. So it follows the same trend, or same method, in that from our angle, or from the information, sorry, we place it first into the correct ratio. So from our angle, we have a opposite and a hypotenuse. Now take a look. If we place this into correct ratio, opposite over hypotenuse, which is sine of 82 degrees 16 minutes, is equal to 38 over W. Now I'm going to pull another the example I had from my previous video. Notice how in my first example here, or in all these examples, the pronumeral is on the numerator. All of a sudden, it's possible that the pronumeral is on the denominator. Now, I want you to follow along because it's slightly tricky in this one. We want to solve for this pronumeral. In order to move this to the numerator, we're going to multiply both sides by this letter, W. So multiplying both sides by W. This will cancel the W and move it to this side. So it'll be written as W sine 82 degrees 16 minutes is equal to 38. We're not done. We want to make W by itself, and since W is multiplying by sine 82 degrees 16 minutes, we can actually divide both sides by this trigonometry ratio. By that I mean I'm going to divide both sides by sine 82 degrees 16 minutes divide by sine 82 degrees 16 minutes. It'll cancel this out. So notice how since everything on the left is cancelled out except for the W. So W will be by itself, which means this is what we'll be inputting into our calculator. Let's take a look here. What it will be. We get 38 over, oops, so you can see in the light, 38 over sine 82 degrees 16 minutes, closing the brackets here, pressing equals, will give us the answer that we need. That is 38.348. Since this is in millimeters, we'll round this to 38.35 millimeters. That's at 2 decimal places. I know that was slightly confusing, so in my next example, I want you to, I'm going to show you a quick shortcut to sort of look at this, okay? There's a quick shortcut that you can think of this. Same thing, I invite you to pause the video and put this into the correct ratio. I'm going to be solving this in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so from our angle, we have adjacent and the hypotenuse. That's ka, so katoa, adjacent over hypotenuse, that is cos 35 degrees 40 minutes is equal to adjacent 22.82 over x. Notice how we started with something similar like this, and essentially we ended with W by itself, and the ratio was underneath where the x was. So we can sort of see that these two swapped. The x and the ratio swapped. So we can just merely write this as x is equal to 22 degrees 82 minutes over cos 35 degrees 40 minutes, and that is the ratio we'll be inputting into our calculator. Here we go. We get 22.82 over cos 35 degrees 40 minutes, closing the brackets. That is the solution that we want. That is 28.088. Just going to place the answer here at the top, which is, it's very squashed, 28.89. Since it's in centimeters, the solution will be in centimeters. I apologize for it being so cramped up. I invite you to pause the video and give this a go yourself, because I'm going to be answering in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay, so let's place this into the correct ratio first. So from our angle, we have an adjacent and the hypotenuse. So, oh sorry, that's not hypotenuse, that is the opposite. Opposite over adjacent is tan. Tan of 38 degrees is equal to opposite 18.62 over y. Since we want to solve for y, we can swap these two values out, so we get y is equal to 18.62 over tan 38 degrees. Inputting that value into our calculator, we will get, here we go, so 18.62 divided by, or over, tan 38. Yes, closing brackets. 23.832. 23.832. And rounding this off to 2 decimal places, 23.83. It is in kilometers. Let's put this in kilometers. And we must always indicate that it is at 2 decimal place values. And our last answer, let's just fly through this. I want to keep this video as short as possible. Whoops. From our angle, we have opposites and the hypotenuse. So that is sine opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of 18 degrees 19 minutes is equal to 45.7 over z. Making z the subject, we can make it now 45.7 over sine 18 degrees 19 minutes. Solving for that in our calculator, 45.7 over sine 18 degrees 19 minutes. That gives us, well, it's the largest number I've seen so far, 145.417. Rounding to 2 decimal places gives us 145.42 meters at 2 decimal places. So I hope that gave you an insight into solving questions involving calculations of sides. I want you to compare this to the previous video, the part 1 of calculating sides using trigonometry, just so you can see the difference between here as well as any similarities. Best of luck!